blessed be. Welcome to AstroPsych. Going to take a few moments to talk about our strawberry full moon in Capricorn that's occurring for us today. And it is Monday, June 29th, 2026. And this moon will be at 8 degrees for us in the Lynchburg Eastern Daylight Time Zone. This full moon is occurring at 7:57 p.m. tonight. So I wanted to bring it in just as we're going into this energy very strongly and getting ready to release it. So put your moon water out there and let those rays hit that moon water, and it will, of course, dissipate through the night, but the strongest rays will be hitting it if you have it out there at 7:57. And the purpose of that is this moon is really preparing us for what is coming in July for us collectively. And I am going to be having another video after this one that talks about those energies. So stay tuned for that. I'm finishing that up. But what we have in the sky right now is an ask. In the second house there, we see our Capricorn 8-degree moon opposite the sun in Cancer, as we're in Cancer season, 8-degree sun. And the moon is in the Jupiter decan, and the sun is in the Venus decan. And the depositor of this moon, or the ruler of this moon, is Saturn. And Saturn's over there in Aries. He's been in Aries for quite some time, about halfway through his journey at 14 degrees in this chart, along with Neptune that's stationing retrograde, getting ready to review those themes of Aries and Neptune. But Saturn is in the middle there of the wheel in the 30-degree fifth house. So he is making his way very slowly, very methodically, very steadily. In the background, Saturn kind of is, he's gray in color and he moves slow. So he's just kind of always doing his thing in the background, creating these structures and wanting to put some order into society and your life. He rules the midheaven there in the 10th house, Saturn, with Capricorn. And it's also co-ruled by Aquarius. So the distinction between the Saturn ruled sign Capricorn and Aquarius and a Cancer moon, it's best understood through their placement on the zodiac's cardinal axis, which is what I opened this video up with, the axis of Capricorn 10th, the worldly aspirations, a structure house of we control, that is Capricorn's mantra, to Cancer's house of we feel, and the roots and the underpinnings really of the entire chart. The roots are what feed the rest of the chart. So it's an opposite polarity there that needs to be looked at this time in our lives. And it's a releasing moon. It's a full moon, the strawberry moon, where everything is ripe and ready to eat of this fruit. So it's a key to look at strawberries. Eat strawberries. Put strawberries around you this week. Engage with how strawberries grow, when they grow, why they grow. There really is a symbolism here deeply tied to earth energy and the bounty of the fruit that grows and has a cycle of release. And this is something that Saturn perhaps struggles with most, is release, because he's here to give a structure. And when you have a moon of Capricorn, there is an ask of a release, and to wax and to wane and to go through these cycles and structures that, Saturn likes to hold. And he isn't really interested so much in moving through these other stages. He just wants to build and do and control the space that he's in so he can, in his cardinal expression of deep yin energy, take all that internal energy and build something with it, make a career. What's interesting here to note is we're in the middle of, obviously, summer, starting of summer season in Cancer, where we just are coming out of, we have a 29-degree Jupiterian Cancer here. We've got the fullest degree you can have, where it's now broken down, its codes, and it's getting ready to ingress into Leo there, but not yet. We still have under this moon a full Cancer release being asked of you regarding home themes. Now, you've got a lot of benefit here with Jupiter in Cancer. It's in its most dignified, exalted position, and it really wants to do a deep work in the way of communication. Now, we've got there in the eighth house next to that Jupiter, Mercury stationing retrograde. There's always this shadow period of retrograde, then it goes retrograde, then it goes post shadow, and then it goes forward. There's these stages and cycles that these planets go through. So it's getting ready to station retrograde, going direct retrograde quickly. And it's saying, look, I need you to go back and look at these Cancerian fourth house themes of how you're feeling and how you're putting your roots down somewhere so that you can build. Cancer is very much about building. Capricorn, yes, that's why they're in the same poles. But Cancer builds the home, and the moon in Capricorn here is interested in the career and is interested in money. It's sitting in the second house. And Capricorn's a winter sign, December 20th to January 20th. And Aquarius, also ruled by Saturn, is January 20th to February. This is February 20th. This is winter. So it's saying, where do you need to release? Full moons are about releasing, right? The way that you've been doing your waxing and waning, your cyclical nature of your structure, Saturn, look at this in your chart where Aries and Saturn is transiting. It is squaring this moon. The second squares the fifth, so it's an ouch, it's an awkward position. And how have you been putting this energy out in a bountiful way? It's in Jupiter, this decan. Jupiter enlarges and brings benefits. So it's been good what you've been doing, perhaps, but maybe you've done it so large and so big and so often that the home has needed an adjustment and a polarity. Look, this we dominate, we control, to we feel. We've got here Capricorn being about ambition, being very conservative and disciplined and methodical, very preserving, government ruled house, political. So where you have spent your voice, it's in the second house of Taurus that speaks in the throat, where you've been putting that energy out. And the second trines that 10th, where the south node in Virgo is in retrograde, and getting ready to switch our nodes here once we have them moving in a out of retrograde position. And look where the north node is in Pisces, reviewing on the very cusp of the fourth house, the IC, the most sensitive spot, and it's sextiling over there, Pisces over to this moon, bringing the soft energy. But look what decan Pisces North Node is in, our collective energy going towards consideration of Neptune and Jupiter. It's in Saturn. So we have clues here of this very tension energy that's been going on for us collectively about money and the home and our jobs, and how AI is changing and technology is changing the workforce and jobs. And there's this great release being asked of us of maybe going with the flow here. Saturn wants to hold this. And as you look into July, we've got the incredible revolutionary energies where I'm going to talk about the Barbeau basket, where we're going to have all these outer energies in a basket form and complete harmony. And it's absolutely foreshadowing. This moon is foreshadowing this July 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd pattern that's appearing in the sky. My birthday's the 19th. This is huge for me this year. All cancers really born around that time. Really, this is huge for you, and it'd be an honor to do a reading, especially for those degrees. Second decan cancers, third decan cancers. This is lighting you up. And that Barbeau basket is really going to speak to you. But I'm going to do a whole reading on that, so stay tuned. But getting back to this moon here, in this winter energy. Winter's cold where we're not active, we're not busy. Yin, it goes in, right? So this is very internal. Like, this isn't about what other people are doing and the world is doing, even though it's Capricorn, right? It's more personal. It's yin nature being highlighted from the 2nd to the 4th to the 8th. These are all water signs here and earth signs, trying to bring some structure to these spaces in your life. It corresponds, this moon, to the darkest and coolest times of the year, which align with Saturn's characteristics. So we must check this transit of Saturn for you in your zodiac sign, and this is going to speak volumes about what is more specific to you regarding this moon. Always look to the Lord. So the temperament of this moon is slow, old, remote, dark, cold. Qualities reflected in Capricorn's crankiness and the aloof nature of Aquarius. Very important to see here. Rebel and outsider. And in Greek mythology, Saturn is viewed as both a rebel, having overthrown his father, Uranus, as an outsider after being exiled to Earth by his son, Jupiter. So, as you see Jupiter at a 29 bursting degrees in the decan of the moon, and you see the moon at 8 degrees in the decan of Jupiter, and you see the north node where Cancer points to the home in Pisces and retrograde in the decan of Saturn, now we're getting a clearer picture. So, look at this personally for you, and I think that it's going to speak volumes about how maybe, though you feel things deeply, you might have a hard time expressing your innermost feelings about, really what's going on here. And rather than showing your emotions, you might tend to keep these under control and be very serious about money and accepting money and its tying to your value, especially towards family. And a lot of people might be looking to you for support, and this can be very, very overwhelming. And that's why the opposite polarity is the home, to say, look, if the home isn't right, you can't go out into the world or do whatever you want or send whatever you out into the world, because we're all different personalities. And you can't do that if the IC isn't dealt with. And the moon is definitely Cancer's lord. So we've got this layer of Cancer and ask here for you. And the moon seeking this deep emotional security through acquiring material security. And that's not easy at this time. And we're going to find that our financial circumstances in life are quite changeable. And we need to not form deep emotional attachments to how we do work and how we do money. And we need to let these systems come in. I know that it's stressful. I could just speak to you from a space where I used to operate in the financial world every single day of my life. I slept it, I breathed it, I ate it, I ran banks, I ran money. I did a lot with money. I understand the 10th house, and I have a Capricorn stellium. So that polarity has been huge in my life, and I have a south node in Capricorn. And Saturn is in my 4th. It's a lot like what's going on right now. So it's very much foreshadowed, like my whole journey, this moon, and what it looks like, of what I've had to go through. And now on the other side, which you should be by the time you've had 2 Saturn returns. Your Saturn return here is every 29 and a half years. That's the Lord of this moon. So by the time we get almost 30, there's this deep maturity that comes. And when you've had 2 of those, like I have, there just should be a lot of earth under your feet. That's what he's trying to do, is build these stable structures so you're not all over the place. And you have the ability to draw from those roots, you see, and they're not depleted roots. And you're not all just about the 10th house. There's just this balance going on. with this access. Whenever the moon is opposite the sun in a full moon, there's this discontentedness, this tenseness, polarity of the nature of Saturn. It's 180 degrees and it's a contrast, and we've got to look at it and reconcile it. And relationships could be strained, especially with the male and the female. This is feminine and male here. Discord between parents, the home, and our career. Moon is squaring, like I said, that's Saturn. That's a 90-degree ouch of Mars, disposition, laceration, war, fighting, visceral, aggressive energies. And it'd be fair to say that you do not find it easy to express your feelings to others at this time, even those whom you trust. I want to share with you, you could really be feeling overwhelmed at this time with family obligations. I just want to hold space for you. I mean this for just 30 seconds. I truly want to do this because I have this energy of Cancer that understands the tension of that 10th house. And there are a lot of people that come to me and people that I've spoken to that are struggling greatly. And so now I just pause. Let's take 3 breaths, okay? If you don't want to do this, go forward. But I think we need to. I think we need to do this collectively. I think we need to just breathe in very slow that everything's working out for me. And breathe out. I release all the tension and blockages that stand in my way. Breathing in, everything deeply, slowly working out for me. And releasing all negative energy, stress, that which you don't need to hold on to. So we breathe in. We breathe out. We breathe in slowly, mindfully. Everything is working out for me and the collective as I release that which no longer serves me and send out that which I am empowered to release. This slowing down, this taking breaths in this massive shift of chaos is somatic therapy that Chiron demands at this time, as Chiron has ingressed 0 degrees there. And where is he sitting in this chart? He is sitting in the 6th house of health, of service to others, that which we give out to, family, home, career, right? What we do with our hands every day and how it's impacting our gut and our processing of life in food and all things health. Virgo is highly, highly concerned about this. And where do we have our Mercury? Again, in Cancer, in retrograde, in the 8th in this chart. Do not mistake the power of what's being spoken here. This is very clear message. You're going to have this moon within minutes going right direct opposite that 26 degree as it's moving back and then going through Jupiter, cloaking through and then hitting up with that Venus as it moves very quickly. So understanding the journey of where it is in this chart at this time for the area you live in and then where it's going is very, very important to see at this time. Now, the moon is also squaring Neptune, and this needs to be talked about because Neptune is that dreamy, sometimes irrational, disillusional, foggy planet that just can have the ideals that are so inspirational and high up that if it doesn't find a container for those mutable waves of inspiration rolling over it, it could be quite detrimental. It must find its earth. This is why water goes with earth and fire goes with air, and there's this tandem working of the elements that's an ask of you at this time. And when the moon is squaring Neptune, we have Neptune in Aries, highly perceptive energy, sensitive to the influences around you. Aries rules the head, ruled by Mars. Mars is our drive. Mars is in Gemini, conjunct Uranus, where, it's going to be for quite some time, Uranus in Gemini, outer planet. And there are going to be hits of Mars directly with Uranus quickly. This is going to be shock and awe, people. I'm telling you, there is going to be news coming to the United States of America and affecting all world. Of course, United States affects all other financial climates. We know this in industries overseas and in other sectors of the world and other economies. And we know what's happening with the dollar. Please understand what's trying to go down here with the financial system. We are going to see some type of change or shift. And my video after the July video is going to hopefully tap into some financial news, as I'm going to start bringing that out into the chart. That's kind of my background and my expertise is the financial industry. It's where I spent most of my adult career before leaving and going into the wellness community type of practice. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to bringing some of that. I feel like I've been energetically wired with the United States of America, especially having a Cancer sun, and the United States has a Cancer sun. So a lot of what's going on with my stellium in Cancer is hitting the stellium in Cancer in the United States. It's really quite amazing. And I hope to bring that information out and show it to you to show how, hey, how can I make money? How can I show up? Where's the best place to show up in the country, city, state that I live in? Yes, huge. So if that kind of stuff interests you, keep hanging out with me. I'm going to be bringing that down the pike. So, Moon, square Neptune. The good news, highly inspired information. You could have some information coming to you like jolts when we have Mars conjunct Uranus, people speaking in the seventh house there in Gemini, very chatty of other people, partnerships. Oh, yeah, I want to encourage you. Yeah, if in doubt, don't is the first thing. And if you think like you should say something to someone, I want you to take the 30-second pause, not even the 10-second pause. This needs to move to the 30-second pause where you stop and you think about it and you say, hey, does this really need to be said? Because with Mars conjunct Uranus, collectively, there's going to be some information coming out for us, but also personally. And it could be quite explosive and you could cause a lot of harm. So please be careful with that. Now, the moon is sextiling the North Node. So this is good energy, able to cultivate this feeling of closeness and personal associations. This moon is earth and water, and they like to go together, and Pisces, they're in the fourth. So really accommodating and supportive in relationships with important people in your life. So this is definitely family, right? And it could be conflict with family, remember, because we've got the squares going on as well. Yes, I think what I'm going to do is close with the Sabian symbol, which is the moon 8 degrees 15 minutes. So we round up in the Sabian symbols. It's really a 9-degree moon. And here's what it says in the Goldsmith Revised Sabian Symbols from the publication The Zodiac by Degrees, second edition. Author Martin Goldsmith, publisher Red Wheel Weiser. I do not own this information. Goldsmith Revised Sabian Symbol for the 9th degree of Capricorn. An Irish minstrel sings a fascinating song to the accompaniment of a Celtic harp. The song ended, he turns to the audience and shares a candid summary of the political situation. The minstrel town crier archetype, being intuitively attuned to the larger metaphysical situation, which allows one to confidently interpret the immediate situation, striking a chord with the public by addressing the needs of the time. turning people into what they already know subconsciously but have not yet got a handle on. Dominate through persuasion, rallying people to a cause. Resonant, spellbinding orators, blazing a path towards a new national ideal, step by step progress towards the power spot one wants to accompany versus being pushed aside by people with more social clout. Make near magical progress by being at the right place at the right time, glimpsing an emerging vision and finding a way to get it across to the public. The heavenly harp, Vega and Lyra. And with that, I am going to close. I hope that that has helped you and in that you enjoy this moon, which is coming upon us very quickly at 4:57 p.m. And don't forget to put your moon water out. Take care.